What is going on? Welcome. Shout out to the Bangtan Soyeondan BTS Army. We're here, man. Man, I've been so busy these past few days, and I was really excited when I saw this over here, that RM really sat down with one of the greats, man. Shout out to the Neptunes in the house. We are here, man, with the greats. Two great minds sit down to have a conversation. I'm really curious as to what they talked about, so I was like, you know what, let me check this out. And I've got some time today, and I decided to do two birds with one stone, do it as a live stream, and then obviously post it later on when I get a chance. But shout out to you guys for being here, though. Really appreciate your presence. Let me know, hit one in the channel if you can hear me fine. Hit 2 in the channel if you want me to adjust anything. Just let me know in the chat that you are present, you're involved, and you are active, man. Shout out to y'all. I am working non-stop today. Let me know in the chat that you're present. Hit 1 in the chat if you are excited to be here as well, and if you can hear me fine and you are ready to go. Hit 1 in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the BTS Army. Let me adjust certain things around me. Oh yeah, baby, we are here in the house, man. We're here in the house. Don't forget to hit the like button as well whilst you're here, and let's get to the agenda on the line. Let's get to the agenda on the line, man. Hit 1 in the chat. Yes sir. Yeah. Okay. This is really exciting. So I've always had a conversation with one of my friends. So one of my friends, he's a producer himself. And we always talk about this. I always try to I always push, like K-pop on him, because he's just, like myself, like very open to so much, any form of music around the world, and we always talk about this. And when I saw this, I sent this to him, and he was actually surprised because Neptunes is one of his mentors, right? So he was really excited about this. So let's check this out, guys. I'm really excited to get this show on the road. Welcome. I really appreciate you guys for being here, being involved, and being active. Without much ado, let's not waste any more time. Let me say hi to everyone in the chat. Hello, Genevieve La France. Thank you very much. My moderators are in the house. Shout out to Aurora B. Shout out to Sally Sekola. I hope I got your name right. Shout out to Aka Adit Elabiri. Hello. If you're in the chat room, let me know by saying hi, or you can hit the 1 button in there, man. Just want to know that you guys are present and you are here. I'm not just talking to a bunch of robots, and the FBI is not monitoring my ass. Okay, all right. I need to know that I'm hanging out with human beings over here. Okay, all right. Okay. Let's see. Let's get to the agenda on the line. Let's check this out, guys. Also, don't forget to hit the like button whilst you're here. Without much ado, let's check out President having a conversation with Pharrell Williams, one of the great producers out there as well. 2 producers having a conversation. Let's go. Hello from Morocco. Hello.
I'm not sure if you remember it or not, but we've met at
of course,
Billboard Music Awards.
Yes, of
in
course.
2018.
Yeah,
do you remember?
Yeah, we took a photo.
We took a photo together.
I wanted to work then. First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me as well. I think that there's a huge benefit.
Wait, before we even go, look, they are rocking some shoes, man. Look at this. That fashion sense is sick, though. Look at this. That is pretty cool. That is pretty iconic, man.
Thank you for having me as well. I think that there's a huge benefit in writing and producing for other people. I'm pretty sure you may feel that way as well, but it allows me to go to places that I wouldn't go for myself. And as much as it feels like, I may know what I'm doing when I'm doing songs that I'm, featured as a solo artist, some people know, but most people don't know that all of my solo efforts have always been songs that I have written and produced for other people. In fact, when I try to write songs for myself or produce songs for myself, they always are too complex and seem much more like a puzzle than they do, a jam, like a bop. But I do those for other people. So for me, oftentimes my best stuff is the stuff that I poach back for myself. I don't know how it is for you.
In 2005, I was just an elementary school kid, and I just wanted to be a rapper. As I got to know what's rap, it's basically it's rhythm and poetry. I really felt attracted for this whole genre to send the messages to the world. Actually, it's really embarrassing to answer about all this in front of my idol, but for me it's really more comfy to mostly for me I write somebody's lyrics or the melodies for other artists, not as many as you, but it feels like it gives me another avatars and characters.
Yes.
So when it comes to me,
right, okay,
it's a complex, and it always comes with the pain, to confess. But it's still the most important part for me.
I can
wait, hold up. I think he made a very interesting point up there.
The most important part.
The sound of the video is low. The sound of the video is low. That is strange because the video is really loud in my ears. So maybe adjust your volume. I'm not sure, but is everyone else having that same issue?
For me,
I can relate to that. I think the pain part for me is probably the fun part, because that's like some of the most vivid paint that we can use as artists when we're like filling in what we want to be a powerful verse. It's like, okay, does it hurt enough? Or does it feel good enough?
True.
So I understand you there when you say, you inject the pain in your verses to make sure that's like, they're strong. I agree.
I was wondering the creative process, how it's different for you yourself.
They made a point. they made a very important point, and Pharrell was talking about making songs for himself being different and more complex than making songs for other people, because when you're making a song for yourself, there are so many things, there's so many complexities about yourself, and you know yourself so much, there are so many layers about yourself that you try to convey in the music, and all of that come out rather like to express that pain that you've been through and all of that. And that's why I really enjoy RM's lyrics, like very poetic, very artistic, but at the same time you can tell even RM, the entire Bangtan So You're Done rap line, they speak to the pain, the hard work that they've worked, and it's so many layers about certain artists when they're trying to do things about themselves. I don't know, that's why a lot of artists, for myself, it's very easy to do a cover song or to do things for other people, like to write a lyric or to do a melody, or to think of a melody and think of how a chord would actually sound in the right place, and be like, oh yeah, this actually would sound better, or you'll be like, oh, this melody works right this way, and then you produce this melody, like, yeah. But for someone else, that's fine, but for yourself, you have so much time. It's like, no, I know how it's going to sound. You're also your worst critic as well, so that also plays to the factor as well. It's like you're your worst critic. You want everything to be perfect. At the same time, you don't want it to be basic. You want it to be painful. You want to express it, but it becomes too complicated when you do it yourself. When you do it for yourself, right? And that's what both of them speak to. I think it's very interesting, rather than doing things for other people, because then they give you the idea, they give you the characters, they give you the story. It's like, oh, okay, this works well for this type of thing. I think it comes naturally, magically like that. It's very interesting, these guys.
In my mind, or girl, or between the songs you made for the others, like the singers or the rappers, or like clips, grinding, of course. I just wonder the difference, from the scratch.
So when an artist walks in, they ask for something,
like a track or idea.
They'll say, I just want something hard, or I want something darker, or I want something that's like for the club, like
banger.
You know what I'm saying? A banger, like. And so I'm considering what they're looking for, but I'm also thinking about like the texture of their voice, and the patterns and the melodies that they do usually. Then I think about how I can give them something very different than they've ever done before. And so when you mix all of that together, a lot of times, you know, an artist will say, man, that's a little different for me or whatever. And then I'll go ahead and reference it and, you know, sell it to someone else. And then like oftentimes that same person will come back to me and say, man, why didn't you play me that? And I was like,
that's what I did.
But they weren't hearing it in that way.
Wow, that's the fun part.
Yeah, that's the fun part. But then there are people who jump out the window and they go ahead and try it. Because my whole thing is just try it. We don't have to put it out.
Right.
But, you know, people are so good at what they do. Sometimes they're afraid to explore different parts of their voice, different parts of their personality, and different parts of their career. So, you know, they're a little like hesitant. But for the ones that do try it, they get to experience something new. And look, if we decide at the end of the day it's just not right for them, it's not right for them. Right. But
that is a really good point, man. Yo, let's say shout out to Pharrell, giving some jewels over here, man. That was loud. Listen. This is one of the reasons why my love for K-pop has recently risen so high. Is the fact that it's such a huge avenue for people to try so many genres. And because when you say K-pop, right, you can't get a simple idea. Like there isn't a simple idea. I think the only thing when you mention K-pop, the only thing that you can only imagine is, oh, a group of people, you know, like maybe 3 or 4 people or 5 or 6 or 7 up to maybe 10 people in one group working towards a goal, right? And that's the only thing you can actually relate to K-pop. But when it comes to the actual music genre, you can't pin it down because it could be anything. They stretch their range all the way through Afrobeats, through hip hop, mixing rock with hip hop and jazz and R&B. Like for example, you know, like you have RM's Monster, for example, or you have J-Hope's More, for example, you know, and it's like you can't really pin the song down whether it's a rock or it's metal or it's hip hop or it's R&B or it's jazz pop. Like it's like they stretch their range in so many ways, and the fact that they are willing to try it, that's what makes the K-pop industry very formidable and very powerful, so much so that it can't be ignored now. Like you can't ignore it now. Like if you're an artist in anywhere in the world, you can't be ignorant of the existence of K-pop right now. Like you can't. It's reached out to every form of music genre out there. It's reached out to it, and I think it's about time that a lot of Western artists, like, you know, like we're seeing here, start to get some inspiration from them to be like, yo, listen, these guys are crazy, man. Because the first time I started getting into K-pop, that is what I noticed. The fact that there were so many things, so many beats, so many sounds, so many patterns and rhythms that I could relate to. You see what I mean? And that's what makes it wonderful, man.
But you got to hear a different side. That's my favorite part of writing and producing for other people.
Like challenging.
Yeah.
Like, so here comes another thing.
Okay.
I started to listen to music. I mean, like the hip hop music in 2005. I started with the Nas and Eminem. Okay. Of course, the classics. Yeah. But you know, as I get to know you, when I first listened to your song, especially, I just want to point out "Take It Off." Yeah. Because that's my playlist, one of the playlists. So
that's crazy.
When I listen to it, I just
play it off.
I even translated it into Korean, and I just recorded once when I was an amateur.
Oh.
So you know, when I listen to it, I just always been wanting to have the, you know, frequency, like, you know, because you always cross over this. These days, genre doesn't mean anything. Yeah. But I think
exactly.
At that time, I think was like, you know, some rappers really criticize the rappers who sing or use the autotunes.
Yes.
But I don't know, you started your career as a producer, or so you're like very natural for that. But I always wanted to have the frequency like you. Like, you know, it sometimes it's just singing. It could be falsetto. Sometimes you rap. Sometimes you just sang the hook for the other artist. Like Snoop Dogg. And so how do you position yourself when you participate in the song as a player? Like,
wow. First of all, these are great questions.
That's mad. That's a really yo. Look. Listen, RM didn't come to joke, man. RM didn't come to joke. RM didn't come to joke, bro. The guy came with points. He was like, I've got questions, man. That's a multi-layered question, man. That is a multi-layered question. That's about 3 questions in one. That's mad, bro. How do you position yourself as an artist in these things, like when you're producing or you're singing the hook or you're rapping, or like how do you position yourself in those things as a producer, right? And I love the fact that he speaks in a way where he speaks about his own competency, but in that language of admiring Pharrell as his idol, right? But still, because RM has come a long way. He's come along. He has his own feet as well. He has his own, you know. So I like this conversation. But that was it. That was a multi-layered question. That's good.
No one's ever asked me that.
Oh, really?
Or not.
Like, no. He says no one's ever asked me that.
When you participate in the song as a player, like,
wow. First of all, these are great questions.
thank you.
And no one's ever asked me that.
Oh,
Believe it
really?
or not. Like, no, I've never had a journalist ever ask me
That
that.
really matters to me. So.
Yeah, but because most American journalists don't even know what you're asking. Ugh.
And that's like no cap. Like you,
No cap.
believe it or not, no one's, and it sounds like they could have, and because it's such an obvious question, but no one's ever asked me that. So
Yeah.
I'm blown away by that. Everything.
I can see the excitement in RM's face. RM is really excited for this conversation.
I make decisions based off of feeling.
Oh,
I don't make them based off of convention.
I gotta rap. I gotta sing.
Yeah, no, it's just whatever it feels like it needs, and I'm gonna channel it as best as I can, because I'm trying to tell somebody else who's gonna be better than me to do it. And oftentimes, what will happen was artists will be like, "Nah, we want you to stay on there," and I'll be like, "No, but it's for this person." But I channel what I feel like is missing, and I forget that it's gonna be me, because if I think that it's gonna be me, then it won't be as good and I won't be as confident. I'm only confident knowing that I am giving the instruction and the directives to someone else. Like, for example, there's a record that I did with Mystical a long time ago called
Mystical.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, Shake Your Ass, right?
Yeah.
So when I did that record, I was thinking,
Hey, listen, that track was mad, bro. Shake your ass. Watch yourself. Shake it. That song, hey, does anyone know that song? If you know that song, let me know. Hit 1 in the chat if you know that song, man. If you know that song by Mystical, if you know Shake Your Ass by Mystical, hit 1 in the chat, man. If you don't, hit 2, that's fine. But if you know that song, man, just hit 1 in the chat if you know that song. Oh, hey. Oh my days, that's iconic. That's iconic, man. Shake Your Ass is iconic. No one knows? Ah, nobody knows. Damn, man. That's sick. That's sick.
and like, you know, writing wise, you know, Chad and I produced it together. But when I was writing that hook, I was pretending that like Eddie Kendricks from the Temptations could do it. And I remember saying to them, "Oh man, you know, we're gonna get like, you know, we're gonna get you know, the guy from the Temptations to do it." And they were like, "Nah, the record company wants you to stay on there." I was like, wait, what? So it was like this weird thing where like I started to realize that was my sweet spot, is when I channel other people and I surrender to what the music needs and not let my ego or my feelings get involved. And then I actually make better decisions, whether it's gonna be me on the song at the end of the day or not, or another artist. I filled in the blank and given them a different feeling. And oftentimes, sometimes I would be sharp, you know, when I'm singing on there, but it just felt good, and we would just leave it.
So I'm not sure if you remember it or not, but we've met at
That's very interesting when he says sometimes I will be sharp. I don't know if he means sharp by instinct or sharp by the musical tone of what he's singing, if he's singing in a flat and a sharp. Because sharp is kind of like when you are slightly over the tone of the note that you're singing, right? And then if you're flat, that means you're slightly below the tone that you're supposed to be singing. So I don't know what he meant by sometimes I'll be sharp. I don't know what Pharrell meant by that, whether he was talking about instinct in terms of sometimes he'll be sharp in terms of he'll be quick to do something, quick to doing something, or sharp as in he'll sometimes I'll be sharp. So I don't get the context of that one.
It just felt good, and we would just leave it.
You just leave it in it.
I'm not sure if you remember it or not, but we've met at
Of course.
Billboard Music Awards.
Yes, of
in
course.
2018.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, we took a photo.
Oh yeah.
We took a photo together.
I wanted to work then.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to like, you know, be aggressive. So I was like, oh,
So,
no, let's just take a
okay.
photo.
You were nice.
But I really
Yeah.
wanted to, I was like, yo, let's leave. I think we took a photo backstage.
Yeah, backstage in your room actually.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then like I was
That's
working in the
sick.
studio not too far off, and I really wanted to be like, yo, fuck all of this. No, you know what? Let me correct this because I don't want your fan base to be mad at me for using
Why
this kind of
would?
language.
No,
But,
they're
man, I was like, man,
Yeah, I don't think he's heard RM speak. I don't think he's listened to the rap by RM, bro. He's like, nah, the fan base is not gonna be pissed, bro. Like RM goes crazy in this rap.
wanted to be like, listen, let's leave here right now and go make some great music because I just loved everything that you guys were doing. I love your energy.
That's sick.
And, you know, I love what it is that you represent, you know, at such a time when, you know, our Asian brothers and sisters and, you know, fellow Asian human beings that maybe don't identify necessarily binarily in a binary way, you know, the Asian community has just been going through so much
these
you know,
days. Yeah.
and you
Gradually, more and more.
The Asian community has given me so much. And I really feel like y'all's energy, you're also showing like artist period, not just like in different, not just in one specific genre.
Yes.
But I think you're just like also showing people that like, you don't have to be, you can be humble. You guys, your energy is very, there's a lot of humility that you all vibrate. I think that's a great energy. What people don't realize is like when you have,
How many times did he say energy in this chat? Look. What he's saying is for real by Pharrell, right? Pun intended. The one saying is for real because when you go to Hollywood, when you look at Hollywood and they go in there, they receive the awards and then they make their speech. I would like to thank God and blah 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 blah. But there are a lot of people that do not have likable personalities. Right, they are not likable, and they don't even have they haven't even achieved half of the thing that a lot of the artists on that stage would have achieved, and then they have this super inflated ego. But then you have a lot of K-pop artists who are literally the opposite of that, and they are so humble, they're so calm, they're so relaxed, they're so respectful as well. But I think that also plays to the culture, the Eastern culture as well, which is the Asian culture side. They're mostly traditional. They teach respect from the get-go. They teach things like humility, integrity, all these important virtues, also through martial arts, calmness, respectfulness, and all of that. You're not instigating, not overusing your words, being relaxed, and all of that. All of these things are instilled in the culture, especially in the Asian cultures, right? So I think that also has a part to play with that too. But yeah, it's a very important point. Anyway,
literally, hundreds of millions of fans. And you encounter them, 20 and 50 and 100,000 at a time.
Can't notice a single face, man. It's just a mass.
It's
M-A-S. That's not.
it's a mass.
It's a mass.
And
It's
it
a
is
mass.
a massive voice, and it is a massive, using that word mass, it is a massive energy coming at you, and you say jump.
And then they jump.
And they jump. And you sing, and they sing every word.
Right.
Yep.
And you know that you can feel through their voices that so many of their lives have been affected and changed because of something that you've done.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
don't know how
only
you.
believe.
I don't know how you do that because I've had a couple songs do that, and then when I get out there and go sing it, that would make me cry.
Yeah.
Because it was too much of a responsibility. Every time I get that close to that size and what I do as a musician, I always step back.
Oh, why? It's like, is it too heavy? It's like
it's too heavy, man.
too much.
It's too much of a responsibility. That's why I really revere people like yourself and your band members and other artists like B and J and like, man, what y'all go out there and go face every night on that stage. It is humbling and it's overwhelming, and sometimes your nervous system got to be built for that.
Of course.
Yep.
Let me ask you this: how do you deal after you come off the stage feeling electrified and shocked every night? How do you decompress, or do you decompress?
Hold up, my seat is dragging me down to hell. Let me bring it up. That's a very important point, man. Let's listen to the question.
Compress, or do you purge? Like, how do you do that?
It's my first performing was in front of like 10 people in some small clubs when I was like 15.
Okay.
And I like forgot most of the lyrics. So at that time, I realized that I'm not a star type. I'm not
you're not made for it.
Like a front man and could enjoy all this shit and just it's like Kurt Cobain or Mick Jagger. I'm not that type of. I'm just just who loves writing music and just the energy. So every night, like for example, we had these stadium shows in Las Vegas last April. Yeah. It was 4, but like every night is a challenge. It's like same set list. It's like maybe the same flow, sort of type, little different, but just like you said, that moment, like after we finished the first 3 beginning songs, and then we, take out the earphones,
the monitors,
we're just like, we're fucking back. It's like that's like everybody shouting out. At that moment, that's when I really gets all the nerves. Yeah. And like there's a different me persona for the next 2 hours and a half. But before that, from the rehearsal and even in the plane, I got really nervous and so responsible because I really am aware of the stories that fans buy the tickets and they come from Brazil, from Japan, Korea, from everywhere. They just come there for just that one night. So it feels me like I have to pay back. I have to give them. I have to offer them the best night ever in their lives.
You have to kill it.
So it's a mess and it's a too much energy, but.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I think it just plays to the human side of all of them, right? Because when they come on stage and the fans are screaming and they're about to do the intro songs and all of that, as an artist you have them in-ear monitors. The in-ear monitors to protect you from that. Because you think you watch them, right? You watch them and then you're screaming your head off, right? And then they're coming with this energy, they're performing, they're killing it, and then they're doing it regardless of how loud it is, and you're just losing your mind. Like, your screaming is crazy. All they see is people just going crazy, losing their heads and singing along with them. By the time they take out the in-ear monitor, they actually hear what's going on. That's when they actually hear what's going on. They're like, whoa, okay. We are here. Okay, all right. It dawns on them. So that in-ear monitor is meant to protect you from all of that energy, right? That they're talking about, because it's very easy to be distracted whilst you're singing and whilst you're performing, and you lose focus. You forget your lyrics, you forget your choreography and all of that. So I love how he spoke about that as well, and how they feel regarding. But that has to be like a new experience every day, man. When you feel
I'm a human, and I really get nervous, and I really sometimes get depressed by, and even get swallowed by all the energies. But I'm trying, and I try to deal with it, because I'm a human and I love the music. I love their love, because I think love is really happening when we give somebody, not we take. Yes, we take. Yeah. So I think it's more closer to the real love, I guess, personally.
I also love the fact that he highlighted about the stories around how people get to the concert. I think that that's also a really good thing that he noticed and he pointed out as well, is the stories, because we all have stories when we are trying to get these things, like people coming from Japan. You have to get a ticket, you forgot your passport, you have to go back home to get your passport, blah blah blah, you miss your flight, you have to get the next flight, you have to get in, you have to get a taxi. There's so much stories, and when people are finally there and it's happening and they can't believe it that they are there experiencing these idols, right? And then the idols see them and they're like, that's amazing, like all these people have stories about how they got here and they are here, and I have to give my best to these people, and that can be an overwhelming feeling. So I had to finish my point there, although I'm not the one being interviewed here. Anyway, shut up. Shh.
So I just want to give them back. You know, they brought us from, you know, just a small city in Korea all the way back to, you know, the heart of this music industry.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, LA, New York. You know, me having an interview with Pharrell, it could happen because of, you know, fans all over the world.
Yeah.
I'm just always grateful, and I just don't want to disappoint them. How do you position yourself? Like, you know, you're a producer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you may be a rapper, you may be a singer,
Yeah.
you may be a CEO.
Yeah.
There's all that.
A husband.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I'm like, you know, of course the name Pharrell explains everything, but like, you know, like except that how will you define yourself? Like,
I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm a public servant first.
public servant.
Yeah.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that word.
Yeah, and you know, when you serve the public, you know, you're doing it's what
Something for public.
Yeah, and that's God's will. I'm a believer.
Oh, you believe it.
Yeah, I believe, you know, the universe is real. For me, God is the universe.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the universe. And then, you know, again, you know, being a public servant, you know, being, you know, a father, a husband, and then music is like everything for me, because music's the skeleton key that's opened up every door.
Still music.
Yeah, it's like the center of everything, because without that, I wasn't able to do all the stuff that I'm able to do. And then I definitely have my struggles with having a lack of a sense of purpose, I think.
When? Like,
Right around 2005, when I put out In My Mind.
In My Mind.
I just felt like,
right after that?
as soon as it didn't do what I wanted it to do, it made an impression, but it didn't do it egotistically. It didn't perform the way I wanted it to.
Right.
Like, it just didn't do what I was used to at that time, and that really hit me hard. So that made me start to think about like purpose and things having real, true DNA, and not just aesthetic perversion, but like real, true, like meaning, and something that could be meaningful to people, but at the same time still fun. And you know, I've always loved a girl, so that was always going to be a part of it. But
oh yeah.
So I understand what that is. I know what it's like to hit that place in your career, and for whatever reason, and you guys are doing fine. But I think, you know, from what I'm hearing and what I'm understanding, you guys hit a place where you were like, you know, what are we doing? Who are we? Are we who we said we were?
Right.
You know, and you know, as you think about who you are and you think about what you mean and what your intentions are, it's like also kind of determining who you want to be. I mean, how's that feel? Like, where are you in that process right now? Because you're working on a solo record, right?
Yes, like 90% of the work is done.
Okay.
I've released some mixtape as a, you know, one of the member of the band, but I think it was just like experiments. I think this time it's maybe my official first solo album.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's
interesting that he mentioned that. So he's been working, all the songs that RM has been working on has been as a member of BTS. So it's been with, you know, BTS RM and all of that, you know, Rap Monster. We know Rap Monster. So he's saying that this will be his first official performance as you know, Namjoon. I wouldn't say outside of BTS, but by himself, I think. But I'll let him finish his answer. But that's a very interesting segue for that conversation. It started off by him asking Pharrell what he would define himself as, but he answered that. He said he's a public servant. So I guess we can move on.
could feel enough.
Okay.
I don't know it's gonna be like, I don't know if I would feel like you after my mind or not, but I think it'll happen after when I release it.
Yeah.
So I'm just dependent on the time, but it's been just like 10 years after we had our debut as a team. So K-pop is all about the band and the groups. And actually, I told you, I personally started my career as a rapper and as a poet.
Yeah.
So that was a tricky part actually, because the K-pop is like a mix.
Yeah.
It's like the mix of American pop music, all the visuals and the choreos and social medias and stuff. It's really intense and really hectic. So it has some pros and cons of its own. So after 10 years, I think it was not our intention, but we took it. But we actually became a sort of a social figure. So a K-pop band going to have a speech at the UN, or meeting the presidents. It's like I think I was really confused that I'm what am I, like a diplomat or what?
I see. Oh damn, that's actually a good point. Oh, that's interesting. What? That's so they so they didn't intend to become the social figures that they became, because for example last year they went to see the president, right? Was it last year or this year? It was this year, wasn't it? I think it was this year, sometime this year, that they went to see President Biden in America, and then they went to speak at the UN, and then they have all these very important circumstances that they find themselves in, but they didn't plan to be these things. So it's kind of like finding their identities, like who really is BTS. And when the world is seeing that, okay, K-pop is being represented at the K-pop is being represented at the UN, right? And then it's like that means BTS. It's like, well, what does that mean? Does that mean that BTS is the head of K-pop? Or like who is BTS? I love that. I love it because they didn't intend that. Because what does that mean? What does that mean when BTS is going to meet President Biden? Does that mean is that kind of like an unintended diplomacy happening right there? Like, is BTS representing Korea when they go meet the president? What does that mean? I love that. Because I never actually thought of that myself. Because I thought that, on the surface level, I was like, oh yeah, BTS went to see President Biden. I was like, okay, all right. On the surface level, that's like, oh yeah, that's cool. That's pretty fun. But then, if you really think about it, what does that really mean? What does BTS stand for? Is BTS diplomatically representing Korea at that time? Are they representing K-pop? What are they representing? What is that? Because it's easy for us to say, oh, they're just there. It's just BTS being there. It's like, yeah, but that should mean something, right? It's very interesting. Whoa. I think I burnt my ears multiple times today, but anyway.
It's like a small rapper and lyricist when I was young, like from the scratch. So it was 10 years really intense as a team, and I actually was in charge like almost all of the interviews and representing the team like in front of the other members. That was my stuff, I guess, role.
Yeah.
So I think I got really I don't know, like, I gotta stop this for a bit. Yeah. I gotta shut it down and just fall from it away, and then just see what's going on.
Right, look at it. Really,
calm down.
Yeah.
And then I think so. That's how I got to concentrate on my just solo. And these days I really have been thinking about the 15 when I first listened to you. The first feeling and the vibe and the reason why I started, why I chose music to for my whole life, I guess.
It's kind of like rediscovering why he started doing music in the first place. You become so automatic, like you feel almost like a robot because you're performing, you're doing this. You become so good at it that it becomes automatic for you. So you almost lose the why, the reason, the musical reason why you actually started. So taking a step back, looking things from a bird's eye view objectively, recalibrate your passion for it again. Yeah.
So yeah, when I started my music, I was like 14, and now I'm like 28. So it's like just the half. It's like, you know, it's like way shorter than you.
The same age, man.
So I'm in that process. So it's really tricky and confusing, and I just don't know what's going to happen. So if you could give me any advices, because you were in the band, and you are in the band, and you done the band. It's different from the K-pop, but you've done a lot of projects, like of course NERD, Neptunes, and you know
Neptunes,
your solo.
Yeah.
So, like any thoughts about
you know, being in the Neptunes, being in NERD, and having a solo record really helped me, because it you know, you do one thing, then you take a break. You do another thing, then you take a break. You do another thing, then
switch
you take
modes.
a break. Yeah, and it allows me to like put on different hats and put on different masks. So I understand that, and I know like having that departure is gonna make it really fresh for you. I think it's good for you to do that, because then when you come back to it, you know, to the group,
the team.
yeah, I think it's gonna be to the team. I think it's gonna be super fresh. You're gonna have a whole lot of ideas. I would just say continue to move forward, continue to be curious, and don't put any kind of necessary pressure on what it is that you do by saying, you know, no absolutes, like, oh, I will never do music again.
Yeah.
Or I will never. I wouldn't do any of that. I would just
no nevers.
No nevers. Just stay along for the ride.
Stay
just
along
keep
for the
going.
ride.
Cruising.
Yeah, and just see where you end up, because it's really interesting.
I see.
Thank you.
Nah, thank
it
you.
was a bless.
Yeah, listen, shout out to them, man. This was really well done. I'm really excited that they did this. And what I wondered was if they are really going to work together, right? I think that's something that we, you know, I want to know, and I think a lot more people want to know as well, is if RM is going to work with Pharrell, or you know in the future BTS is going to work with Pharrell and his band, right? But speaking from, you know, being in a band, you know, in a Western culture, being in a band is different, or having a band, or being a producer, managing producer, CEO is different from being in the K-pop industry, because in the K-pop industry is a band, but at the same time, the group is under the label. So you have the Hype label, right, or the, you know, KQ Entertainment, or whatever label it is, and they are the ones that I think they are the ones that provides the producers, all of that, and they let the artists take part in that as well, the writing, the lyric, you know, the composing and all of that. But then in a Western band, you are the producer, you have to figure things out yourself, right? And then a record label just does the PR for you and everything. It's like, you do the work and we will take all the money, thank you. But I love that they were speaking from those kind of those perspectives. Very interesting, man. I really hope that something positive come out of this for both parties, RM and Pharrell over here. That's really good. Precedent. All right, shout out to Rolling Stone. I hope you don't block this. Don't block this, please. Don't block this. I haven't done Bangtan Sonyeondan live stream. I think the last time I did Bangtan Sonyeondan live stream was somewhere early on in the stage, about 5-6 months ago. But yeah, I think content like this, I like to do it on a live stream, so that we can have a live discussion and a live engagement on it as well. But this will be left up if it doesn't get touched by YouTube. This will be left up for anyone that comes in later to check it out. Anyway, really appreciate you guys, man. Let me know what you guys think in this, and I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Tonight I'll be doing a live stream as well. So I've already done one live stream before, another live stream now, and I'll be doing another live stream today. I'm working so hard because I'm motivated, and you should be too. If you have an idea, you should go ahead and create it. Sally Sakola says, in the longer version of this, wait, there's a longer version of this? They did mention that there will be a song on Pharrell's new album featuring BTS. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm excited about that then. I can't wait for that, man. They should do so many. They should do about 3-4 songs, man. What the hell? Bro, Pharrell is definitely a good tool for them to use. And BTS is also a good tool for Pharrell to use as well, to help each other, for them to help each other. So I think that's exciting. I'm excited for that, man. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I mean, you guys have already seen this already, so but yeah, I try to give my perspective on it as well. Being someone who's been a musician and, you know, have been in some form of musical industry, you know, kind of like a lower form, but, you know, giving my perspective of it and trying to understand both of them as well. Very interesting. But I love how they created a space for them to sit down. They weren't asking them questions. They were just sit down and have a conversation. Go. I love that idea. That's pretty good. Anyway, shout out to you guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys. I'm going to go and eat now. Hit the like button. Be sure to hit the like button. Thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate you guys, the BTS army, and anyone that's a fan of Pharrell as well. Shout out to you guys. I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Stay tuned, and we're out. Peace. Stay tuned. Be good, and I'll see you later.